All right. Okay, please click record.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, committee members. How are you? Well, I hope you guys are doing well. The past few weeks have been very surprising to me. And on that thing, it has also been very disappointing at the same time. So this meeting is going to be very brief. It's scheduled for 45 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I want to appeal to all of us to conduct ourselves respectfully because to enable us to peacefully undertake the business of the day. Anybody that goes out of order, I will mute the person. Let's not, come out here and scream over each other's faces. We can use the raise hand features if we have to. A decision was made by members of this committee through a popular vote on the 3rd of September, 2022, not to submit a movie to the Academy for this year. So I would like to share the last communication for clarification and the clarification letter that we received from the Academy on the 17th. And once that letter is shared, we'll all read it out here and confirm that we do understand the letter. Daniel, please share the letter, share your screen, share the letter. The 17th letter, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Deborah, can you read, please? Deborah, if you're reading, you are on mute. Deborah, if you are reading, you are on mute.
While the Academy offered an extension until October 21, 2022, committee to make its submission, able to dictate voting procedures or influence any decision regarding the voting selecting committee based on the selection regulation, while in accordance with the film rules for the International Feature Film Awards and award rules are subject to final determination.
Okay, is he breaking up? Is it only me that is noticing that he's breaking up?
It's breaking up.
Okay, there's somebody else.
We've seen it now.
For the purpose of this meeting, it has to be stated. Thank you. Can somebody else please read it?
October 17, 2022, Nigerian Official Selection Committee, Chineze Anyaene-Abonyi and Mahmood Ali Balogun, Plot 8, Faro Ezimoro Street, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos, Nigeria. Dear Nigerian Official Selection Committee, CO Chairperson Chineze Anyaene-Abonyi and Vice Chairperson Mahmood Ali Balogun. Why the Academy offer an extension until October 21st, 2022 for the Nigerian Official Selection Committees to make its submission, the Academy is unable to dictate voting procedures or influence any outcome regarding voting. Any decisions regarding revoting must be decided by the full Nigerian Official Selection Committee based on the Selection Committee's own internal rules and regulations, while in accordance with a film's eligibility requirements under the academic rules for the International Featured Film Award. All questions regarding eligibility and award rules are subject to final determination by the Academy. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So I would also like to share the voting rules, which was circulated to the committee members and also on the NOSC website before September 3rd, 2022. Daniel, you're going to share two screens. The first screen is the email proof that everybody was sent the rules, and then the second screen is the voting rules. No, the one that, okay, so this is the first screen. This was sent out to everybody on the 2nd of September. And if you see all your emails, Mahmoud, Moses Babatopa, Igala, Yibo Koko, Ego Boyo, Motion 300, that's Izu, Bruce Ayonote, DJT Films, Mildred, Red Hot, Omatla, Stephanie, and Kenneth, Meg, John and Jama, and they copied Daniel. Daniel, please share the second screen of the voting rules. Thank you. Thank you. Meg, please, thank you for reading. Can you read again? Who read the last time? Was it Meg?
It was me, ma'am.
It wasn't me, I can read.
Oh, Deborah. Okay, Deborah. Okay, Deborah. Okay, read, continue.
Voting procedures. Committee members will participate in an open ballot system to vote for their choice film as the countries entering, with supporting reasons for their choice benchmarked against the IFF requirements. The rationale behind the open ballot system is to emphasize the primary objective of the committee, which is to screen and select the countries entering based on satisfactory compliance with the IFF eligibility rules and not to elect. Hence, suppressing any political undertone which could give rise to lobbying, vote buying, and result manipulation altogether. The mix of the committee is an advantage, and its benefits also be fully utilized in the thorough screening of the shortlisted films, from the story to the technical requirements, to achieve a competitive entry and not a divisive committee whose decisions are primarily based on election. Committee members shall recuse themselves from participating in the voting screening process if they have any affiliation or conflict of interest with any of the film entries, and shall identify the conflict to the chairman of the committee. Committee members shall not influence the voting choice of other members during the voting process. The chairman of the committee shall be entitled to one vote, just as other members of the committee. If there is a tie between two or more films, the chairman of the committee shall decide what will be the tiebreaker, or shall exercise executive power to cast a second vote to break the tie. The second vote will be for any of the tying films. The outcome of the voting process shall be final and binding. In addition, committee members shall support the process for the final submission of the Academy as Nigerians entering for the 95th Academy Awards for the International Featured Film category. Members shall not disclose the outcome of the voting process to a non-member of the committee. An official press statement on the outcome will serve as the approved medium to communicate the same to the public.
Thank you. You can share your screen. All right. As you have seen, I read two letters out here. The first one was the one from the Academy. And that one from the Academy says that the activities of our committees are governed by our internal rules and regulations. And I also read the internal rules and regulations. So now, please, committee members, I will need each of you to affirm with a yes or no. Yes or no. If you start talking in between, I will mute, or I will put you on a no or something. So let's try and be respectful of each other here. So I have questions. I just want a yes or no here. Did you read and understand the rule before voting on September 3rd, 2022? Ayibo Koko.
Yes.
Yes.
Moses Babatope.
No.
Okay. I hope you're recording Nigerian. Daniel.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Mahmoud Ali Balogun. Mahmoud Ali Balogun. We can't hear you. You can type on the chat.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
I didn't even see this rule.
Okay, so it's a no. Megotawa.
Yes.
Ego Boyo. Yes or no? Okay. Shaibu.
I didn't read the rules.
Okay. Plus Kenneth Giang. Izo Juku.
Yes.
John
Alright.
Jama. John Jama. John Jama. His network is on. Mildred Oko.
Yes.
Okay. Where is John Jama? Okay. How many people said yes and how many people said no? Bruce, are you not say? Bruce? Sorry. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yes, I did.
Okay. John and Jama, where is he? So how many no's do we have? And how many years do we have? Daniel.
You've not asked me.
Oh, Stephanie Okereke. I need to send the list.
Yes.
Who is counting? Daniel, how many years do we know and how many no's do we have?
We have 3 no's. We have 9 years.
Okay, so let the record state that we have 3 no's and 9 years. We're still waiting for one more vote from John Jama for this. So when he comes back, we will ask him. Okay, he's back. John Jama.
His audio is still connecting.
Okay.
He can type his answer now. Tell him to type.
Okay, John, can you type your answer if you can hear us? Did you read and understand the rules before voting on September?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Did you read and understand the rules before voting on September 3rd?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Did you read and understand the rules before voting on September 3rd, 2022? Yes or no, please? Please, can you type your answers on the chat?
I've typed already. Yes, I did.
Okay, so yes. So how many years do we have and how many no's
Yes,
do we have?
I have. I've typed.
We have 10 years and 3.
Let the record state that we have 10 people of the 10 committee members who said they read and understood the rules before voting on September 3rd. Thank you. I am sure that we can all agree that in a committee, majority carries the votes. So as you can see in the rules that I read out to you guys, the rules protect the votes. And once voted, that cannot be changed. And this was put in place so that we can protect our own votes and uphold the integrity of this committee. Not just the committee, you have your personal selves to, your integrity to uphold as well. And so for clarity, some members of the committee have decided to uphold the rules and regulation protecting the votes September 3rd, 2022. So therefore, I have another question to ask, and it's just a yes and a no I want. Anybody who does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, 2022, please indicate by saying yes and calling your name out.
Observation.
Please indicate. And okay, so I have Shaibu.
What question is that? Well, please respond. Answer.
Anybody who does not want to uphold the rules.
I think we are not in an autocracy here.
Absolutely. Like, I don't understand that.
Anybody who does not want to uphold.
All of us have equal rights here. You cannot come here as if we're kids.
As
You know what I'm
if
saying?
we're in trial or
Unmute
babies,
yourself.
right?
You are muting.
We are not kids here, and you'll be telling us things. We have equal votes here, and we should be. You can't be dictating things to us. You know what I'm saying? I asked for an agenda. You didn't put.
So I'm going to reverse.
Who are you that you will say?
Chineze, can you just finish because you're muting everybody? You're on mute. Mr.
So you're
Balogun.
saying, oh, this. No, please listen to me.
Please, can we raise up our hands if we have anything to say, please?
Mahmoud, I will.
Please raise up your hand and you'll be called.
Mahmoud, okay. If you do not, can you raise your hand? If you don't answer that question, I can ask the opposite question.
You see, the point is that you came with an agenda. A meeting without an agenda. You just can't come here to be dictating things to us.
I am going to ask other questions. Shaibu and Kenneth and Moses, put your hands down, please. Put your hands down. Let me go back again. If Mahmoud does not want to conduct himself properly, I'll be left with no other option but to either end this meeting. We're trying to be this thing.
Mr. Chairman, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I didn't raise my hand.
Your hand is raised up. Okay,
no,
wait.
I raised it because I have an observation. I didn't raise it because.
Are you guys not answer the question, yes or no?
Okay, so Ma, you have to call names, man.
Chairman, it's the way you're leading that is causing, that's making this confrontation.
I will ask another question again, and I'm going to ask the opposite. I'm going to ask another question. You guys don't want to.
Madam Chairperson, please. I didn't raise.
Okay, so put your hands down. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Put your hands down.
I think we are not kids here.
Put your hands down.
Right? You can't be shoving things down our
throat. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Let us, if you guys want to be interrupting, I will not, if you are interrupting, let's have a proper meeting. This is simple questions. Why can't we just answer yes or no? This is a very clear.
It doesn't have to be that. You are not to tell us how we.
I should not tell you how, and I'm sharing this thing.
No.
Okay, I will ask Mahmoud Ali Balogun.
We respect that. We respect your sharing. That is why we allow you to lead. But you can't show this down.
Can we just come? This is not about dictatorship. It's about. Let's answer the question, then we can move around.
Answer my questions. It's very simple. You either agree or you don't agree, and then we discuss. I'm going to leave the floor open for discussion. If you don't agree, then after you don't agree, we discuss. If you guys want to go this way, we end the meeting. The academy said they cannot determine whether we revote or will not revote. So I'm trying to get to somewhere where we discuss. But if you want to frustrate the meeting, so be it. I have questions.
It's 9:27.
I have
they gave
questions.
us 45 minutes.
I have questions. I'm going to reverse the question now because people don't want to. Are you guys? I'm going to ask question one last time. Anybody, people are the one calling. See, anybody who does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of the NOSC protecting the vote, please indicate by raising up your hand. It's simple. What is the problem? Because the communications and the letters that have been going out have been saying otherwise. So I am asking now, people that want to change.
Are you asking the questions? You're still asking. What is the question? Are you continuing or are you going to keep talking?
The question is, anybody who does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of NOSC protecting the vote September 3rd, 2022, should please indicate by raising up your hands. You guys read the rules and the rules was clear. If you think you want to change it or do something, this is your opportunity to say it now and not call me after the meeting has closed. Let the record state that I'm giving them an opportunity to work on these rules now.
We didn't follow the rules as we normally do, so I don't know what rules we're upholding.
We were showed the rules and you said you understood it. You were showed the rules and you said you understood it.
We should not uphold it. That's what I'm saying. Are you calling everybody again one by one, or you say we should raise our hand? How are we raising our hand?
I can call you one by one, so let me call you one by one. So do you want that, or do I?
What I want to ask, what is the agenda here?
Yes.
Anybody that does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of the NOSC protecting the vote, the agenda is internal rules based on the letter on the 17th. They say we will decide if they cannot decide for us whether we can vote or revote. So this is where we are coming to now. You guys called for this meeting. You guys advocated for this meeting. You guys pushed for this. Now I'm giving you the opportunity by asking you simple questions, yes or no. So can we go forward or not? An opportunity is being presented to you to make a choice, not to call after a meeting and start making decisions or changing your mind. Please, I'm asking the question again. Please, anybody who does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of the NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, 2022 should please indicate by raising their hand or calling their names out. We can't hear if Mildred, if you're talking. Can't hear you if you're talking. Is that Mildred raised her hand?
You muted me. That's why I was saying, is there a way to raise hand or what?
Yeah, I'm seeing your hand. I'm seeing your emoji.
Okay,
I'm seeing that.
yes.
Okay, who else? This is an opportunity for people to decide to change your vote, to do whatever you want to do, not calling after a meeting and going behind, trying to destroy an integrity of people and the committee. So let's discuss this here openly with our full chest, boldly. If you do not, anybody who does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of the NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, 2022, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Who is raising their hands again, please? So I have Mildred Oko has raised her hand. Mahmoud Ali Balogo has raised her hand. Kenneth Gang has raised his hand. Moses Babatoko has raised his hand. Who else is raising his or her hands? Not to protect the rule. Anybody who does not want to uphold the rules and regulations of NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, 2022. This is an opportunity that you will have. Please. Shaibu has raised his hand. Anybody? So right now, for the record, I have Mildred. Anybody raising their hands? Mahmoud, Kenneth Gang, Moses, Shaibu. Who else wants to raise their hand? This is an opportunity for us to change. So Daniel, then, and the other question I am going ahead is anybody who wants to uphold the rules. Daniel, how many people have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people said they want to uphold. They do not want to uphold the rules. So anybody who wants to uphold the rules and regulations of NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, please raise your hand. Can you guys put your hands down? So if you want to uphold these rules and regulations of NOSC that protects the existing vote, please raise your hands. Anybody that wants to uphold these rules, please raise your hands. Oh, okay, so I have Stephanie Okereke, Izo Juku, Bruce Ayonote, John Njama, DJT, Omotola, Yibo, Megotawa, any other person? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please, can Meg and Yibo put their hands to the screen, showing that they're raising their hands, please. Yibo, can you put your hands to the screen, showing that you're raising your hands, since you're not? Yibo, put your hand, okay, right. 1, so we have Stephanie Okereke, Izo Juku, Bruce Ayonote, John Njamas, DJT, Omotola, Yibo, and Megotawa, saying that they want to uphold the rules and regulation of the NOSC, protecting the vote of September 3rd. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then including me, 9. How many, what's the votes? What is the vote? Daniel, what is it? 9.
That do not want to uphold the rules.
No, what is the count? What is the count?
6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 against 9, 1.
Okay. All right. As you can see, the majority has it. We will uphold the vote held on the 3rd of September, 2022, and therefore we're not putting any Nigerian film forward to the Academy this year. Thank you. Let the record state that 9 members of the committee said they want to uphold the rules of the committee and protect their vote of September 9. Thank you very much. The floor is open. Does anybody have anything to say, or do I end the meeting?
I think
okay. Because how many more minutes do we have? The meeting is over, but anything that we're saying now, we can talk after the meeting. But for the record, the meeting is over. Who wants to talk?
meeting cannot be over because it was an illegality we have the first time. Illegality is that something on the ballot was not a film.
A meeting is 90 minutes. A meeting is 45 minutes. We are 9:36.
Not eligible is not a film, right? It's a predetermined thing you did. So you should know.
You have Mahmoud Ali Balogun. You've been writing to the Academy.
Of course,
my hands are up. My hands are up.
You've been writing to the Academy.
Please, you don't know why my hand
the
was
letter
up.
from the Academy that says that is not a this thing.
Non-eligibility is not a film.
Do you want to say? Yes, Ego, I'm listening.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say that there are 2 things that came to my attention when you read out the rules, and which is why there's actually a conflict in terms of embracing the rules of the committee. The rules of the committee states that there will be films listed. The film that the thing we all voted for, or majority voted for, was not a film. That's one. And the second thing was that committee members shall support the process for the final submission. We were not given the opportunity to do that. Remember when I spoke to you and I said that you had called me and we had talked about a revote? After that, there was no word back from you. And then you went ahead and released a statement and wrote directly to the producers. So the committee members could not have been in support if they were not told, unless some people were told about it before you submitted. But those 2 aspects were not taken into consideration. We as a committee were not carried along. So is that not the case? We have, there was something on the ballot that said non-eligible, and that's what we voted for. But yes, your thing here, the rules here clearly states it will be a film, that there will be names of films. So obviously there was a second process that was supposed to continue and we didn't go through that process. So those are the 2 things I wanted to. You can disagree, that is my own observation. That's why we're having a conversation. Anyone can disagree. So that's what I wanted to say.
All right, thank you. I'm Shaibu.
No, the floor is mine now. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Chairperson.
Okay.
I thank you, every member of the committee that has come on. The first question you asked, the reason why I answered that I didn't read the report was that I'm very familiar with the rules, having been a pioneer member of this committee, and the rules have not changed at all. And we heard what you read. I didn't need to read the rule to know what we were going to do. You told in your rule, you said that members, in the rule, they said we're going to vote for films. There was no part of the rule that says, in the case the committee decides not to submit a film, we're going to introduce not to submit as an item on the ballot. The only time when we talked about not to submit and we took a decision was when the controversy of the trilogy came. And you told us that for record purpose, can we just say, agree that we are not submitting? And the party agreed, and we walked away. And with our full chest, we defended the decision. Even when we chose Lionheart and knew that Lionheart was going to be disqualified, the committee unanimously agreed. This year, particularly, your rule says, because now you have passed it to us, your rule says, Madam Chairperson, that we were going to vote for films. I'm not a lawyer, but I've read this rule back and forth. There is nowhere in the rules that says that committee members should, in case we decide not to take a vote, they are going to vote for not to submit. And Madam Chair, we have examples all over the world. I read your very last statement that you issued where you were comparing us to Egypt. The Egyptians committee came and met, and they submitted films to them to watch. After watching films, Madam Chairperson, the Egyptians committee members said they don't like the films. The films are not technically sound for them to submit to anybody. So they took a vote to submit or not to submit. And that was how that country did not submit a film this year. If we knew that we were not going to submit a film, Madam Chairperson, we would have just had a debate, had a vote over it, to submit or not to submit. But we don't vote for not to submit and vote for the films. I really don't understand it. It's a flawed process. I'm sorry to use that word, flawed. It is like a predetermined stuff. And that's what we're trying to say. We're not trying to, I've never asked for revoting. Even if today we agree that we are going to revote, I will not revote because my vote stands. The vote, what I voted before stands. And I was going to advise that nobody revote. But it is this idea of putting not to submit together with films. How do you say that if members should vote for not to submit, and then you now line up the three films for us to vote for? All we'll have done on that day was to vote for to submit or not to submit.
And Moses, please talk. I'm timing it. Sorry about it. I'm timing everybody. Unmute Moses, please. Okay, he's gone off. Mahmoud, Moses.
I think just as Omotola said, I'm not going to leave this long. I think that it's, I said it from the beginning, I think I'm happy I've been, consistent. I'm very extreme from where Omotola is. My conscience is very clear. I think we're doing an extreme disservice to the progress Nigeria has made. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to look at everybody in the face. There are people that I actually have lost respect for, based on how this has gone on. I really, I'm just going to be outspoken about it. I really do not care what the outcomes are. I've kind of really lost respect that we couldn't even put our country forward. It might sound sentimental to some, I really do not care. I think that there was a bigger objective here for us, and there was a big opportunity, missed opportunity here. But we've put our unfortunate, I don't want to call it egos, artistic sensibilities, or, how would I call it, arrogance in front of a lot of the decisions that we're making. We could have been very, very, don't let me use mature. We could have been practical about this and do something that would, stand the test of time and put something forward, but we decided not to. But it's all on us. I just wanted to just put it out there. I think it's a real shame, and I pray that things that would matter to me or that would be of interest to me be not put in the hands of some people. But I just needed to voice my opinion. It'll probably be my last, committee one, but I'm just being frank. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mahmoud. Make it short because I'm timing, so I don't have to mute you. Mahmoud. Mahmoud.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we need to get certain things straight, right? When we started the last meeting, I recalled I praised the chairman for what she has done. We've been working together, right? When we had a stalemate, so to speak, I called her and things were flowing,
okay.
Right? And she agreed to all suggestions. Then she made a U-turn. But the point I want to make here, like Shaibu said, is like we were programmed to get to a destination. Okay. When we all did the appraisal, I gave my view because creativity is not same with everybody, it's subjective. But in terms of requirements by the academy, the 3 films, in fact, 4 films were submitted. We removed the first one, which was on Eagle's Wing, because it has language disqualification, it has timing in terms of when it was released, right? So we removed it from even before we voted. So we left the 3 that were eligible. And even the technical quality was attested to by DJT, hence our decision to vote. But non-eligible on the ballot was a misnomer. That was a mistake we made. The foundation was wrong, right? I spoke with the chairman immediately after, and she concurred with me. That's what led to this brouhaha. If she had said no from the onset, there are people here she spoke with, right? I wrote 2 letters to the academy saying, the first one saying that the whole process was inconclusive, they should look into it. The second one was after I called the meeting, I wrote nothing else. I forged nobody's signature, like some people are inferred. Nothing like that. The letters, I copied the chairman in the letters I wrote, right? So I've been in this business and these issues for over 35 years. I'm not used to all this. I'm not unfamiliar with these controversies, but truth is always constant. And like I always say, history will always vindicate the just.
All right, thank you.
If we're, hold on, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud. Mute him. I'm timing everybody, please. It's not, I'm muting. Who else wants to say anything? Does anybody have anything to add? I've heard everything you have said, and I appreciate everybody speaking up their mind. And I find it very strange that people would say they do not understand what non-eligibility means. Last year, we voted, and Moses voted for Ojuju Stories. Every other person voted for do not submit, not eligible. If Nigeria was not qualified, the movies were not qualified enough to submit to represent the country. This year, that is what everybody understood by non-eligibility. And so let's not pretend like we do not know what we're talking about. Mahmoud coming up with letters and saying that he called me. Yes, he called me and asked me, just like you call me. You know the way I run the committee, I call everybody. And everybody have their various views. What I find shameful is that you were given the opportunity during the meeting to, after the meeting where we had voted, I asked everybody, does anybody have anything to say? I kept giving extension for people to make up their mind. None of you said anything. Then you sneaked behind after the meeting was over. to come and say, oh, chairperson, do you think we can do this? Do you think we can do that? And of course, I said, okay, but I will go back to the rules. You do understand that this rule was sent to everybody a day before, and it's been on the committee, and people want to uphold the rule. And then you insinuating that maybe this is programmed by who? The same way you are clamoring for a revote, some people are saying, please do not put my integrity at stake. I'm not just talking to you. I'm not talking to Mildred alone. I'm talking to 14 members. 14 members. I listen to everybody. And you know that I've been working with you on this thing since 2019. And Mildred since the inception of this. And you know how I operate. I listen to everybody's opinion. So coming up here on a Zoom camera to make up stories that are not true, it's really, I don't know the right word, for lack of better words. I don't know what else to say, but I'd rather just keep quiet. So all of us claiming here that non-eligibility, you don't understand what it meant, is we're just deceiving ourselves. You all know that it meant it would be good enough to represent Nigeria. That was what we voted for. Bruce. Bruce?
Okay.
So we have,
you know, on that day, so I voted for election over, and I like the movie. I wish it had the opportunity to go, you know, you know, but I think, contrary to my personal view, when we go in as a board or as a group and we agree on a position, it's more than an individual. And I think what we're suffering from, you know, that day I was actually arguing on the other side, arguing that, look, this movie should go and let people determine. Institutions are consistent decision making. They agree to rules and not, you know, emotions. And you don't have the privilege. Life is not like that. You don't have the privilege of, you know, correcting things that happened. You know, in the way, you know, you might pay a price to do that. I agree, because I was on the other side. That's why I'm saying so, because when I was arguing and begging for that, nobody, you know, the guys who held their guns big time. They didn't say, like, they acted like they knew what they were talking about. So I think the issue here is no one should be judged for making correcting his position. It's extremely unfortunate for movie. I would have loved that movie to get the chance, but let this be a learning curve for us. And I think what we should not do is try any further disruption or irresponsibility.
I've been unmuting myself. It says I can't be unmuted. That's why. I can't use my video because the internet is slow. This is what I'm saying. And I've said it all this while. People are saying, oh, you know this, you violated your own rules. I have been with Chineze from the beginning of this inception. This is the weirdest, the behavior I've seen so far is the weirdest I've ever seen. And somebody, it's like I'm seeing a totally different person, because when she got this, when she got this thing, she told me what she wanted to do. And we are supposed to be helping our films get to where they're supposed to go. It is later that I realized that we made a mistake, because when you say you're voting non-submit, it is against your own rule. Last year when we did this, you had to do non-submit, decide before you say you're going to vote on films, because non-submit again is not a film. And that's all I'm trying to point out. I said to Chineze called me right after and said, it looks like we may have to revote. I said, well, whatever happens, I'm going to rescind my vote. It was until the next day I realized we had made a mistake of doing that, because non-eligibility and what's the other whatever is not the same. These films we said are eligible. They're okay. Now we have to vote on them. We can't go back and say, do not submit. You can't do that and be voting do not submit. That's not a film. It's even in your rules that you will be voting for films. There's that line there that you'll be voting for films, not for do not submit. We should have already determined. What we should have done was, once it was time to vote for the films, if you didn't like the film artistically, you abstain. If everybody had abstained, then that's the only way you don't send the film back. And then when I come back to when you come back, I come back and say, let's do this because our job is to get films there. That was the initial thing Chineze wanted when she formed this group. But we have become what you call gatekeepers. And yes, I hear Bruce saying people stop by their whatever, but I remember saying, I don't understand. We said one thing and then we're doing another thing. You understand? So some people said they thought we were going to discuss. This thing doesn't have to be this or that, this or that. I just see people being so angry, my this, my that. It is your country. Your country needs to have a film. We've never had 3 films where like this, really, when you think about it. We've never. Chineze was on this seat for more than 6-7 years before we even found one film. And the one film we even found did not meet the criteria, but we kept pushing.
Okay, keep a round up. All right,
thank you. We fought for Mirror, the milkmaid. All right. I don't see.
If I'm going to give Mahmoud and Mildred, I will only give people 1 minute each, and then I will mute Mildred, and then I will round up.
I have to speak because I know Meg is directing those lines to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the committee. We don't have so many, there's so many rules. We've just been running on the chairman says, and she talks to a few people. So you will not find any book that, except during election time. Last year, when we have to discuss the do not submit before we vote. And that's what happens. We should have, and that's what we should have done. You don't go and put, this is the first time we've done that. Normally we'll say, are these films good enough? We discuss it before we start to vote. When we discussed last time, we were like, we can't even vote because there is no film that is good enough. So there's no reason to present us any ballot.
No,
it was only, no, can I finish? Why are you interrupting me? It was only Moses that said, well, I think Juju Stories, it's not a Juju Stories may go, whatever. Everybody said no. They will not even the technical person, DJT, said a lot of these films will have issues. So we didn't now go to the next step of, okay, let's vote. This year, we said, they read to us and told us, this is eligible, this is eligible, this is eligible. You understand? And then everybody spoke, everything, and then we now went to vote. That is why I'm trying to tell you that as we go to vote, we should have just voted for the films or not voted. Right, we shouldn't be discussing whether they should be submitted. Yes. Period. I'm done.
Thank you. Mahmoud, 1 minute. We're going to round this thing
up. Thank you very much. Your 1 minute is, you're always very strict about it. One thing I want to let us know here is that 4 movies were placed before us on that day. It's like we are forgetting that there were 4 films. And we dropped the one that did not meet the requirements of the Academy, which was on Eagle Wings. And the remaining 3, we decided to vote for them. The non-eligibility matter, I think we will be deceiving ourselves if we said that had been the practice. Let us say the truth, right? Always. There have been insinuations here and there, but one thing we must get clear, right? Whatever we are doing will tell eventually on us. This thing that we did, non-eligibility, non-submit, was never had of what we have been doing. I've not voted for some films in the past, and I have defended them. Right? Please, Madam Chair, please. The fact that you are being autocratic, that is my view. You may not like it. This whole thing is because, yes, we gave you the regard, you brought this thing in, and you've done well in the past. I've said so to everybody that I've spoken with. When Yibo said, right, you put me up. I spoke to almost.
Please mute Mr. Mahmood. It's gone
I
over
spoke to
by.
almost everybody.
Mute Mr. Mahmood. Mute him. Okay, Stephanie. Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking for 1 minute. I'm not just going to, this is like, hi everyone, this is like beating around the bush, because I know in the letter that we exchanged, there's something Amidra said, and I was asking her when she, because I know she's very inland, when she voted ineligible, what did it mean to her? What did you mean? Because like you said, it's a language that we all understood what it meant. And I remember leaving the meeting and we all said, this is our final decision. I remember John, you know, when Miss Mildred fired at Mr. Balogun for changing, you know, not speaking straight, we now said, regardless, this thing has happened, we have voted, that we should all support the final vote. And I think it was on that note that we all left. Do you understand? Reading our mind that we've all decided the votes, the majority of the votes carried that there's not going to be any submission this year. And that was the understanding. And yes, posterity is going to judge us because this is a crucial moment in our industry. And I feel that with the thing that we've gone through this past few weeks is also indeed very great, because that will also position the NOC to be a very strong body that cannot be lobbied, can actually be the one setting the industry straight. For me as a filmmaker, it also helps me, sorry, it also helps me that...
Mute
me. Oh, okay.
Mute. All right, does...
Hello, mute yourself, please.
Just another thing I want to talk about is intense lobbying. Intense lobbying. This is the worst I have seen this happen. These filmmakers, Daniel, share the screen. Daniel, share the screen. Filmmakers went online, and then when you go to the website, you fill the form like this: I shall not lobby or attempt to influence decisions of the NOSC committee members if found guilty of lobbying or suspected of bribing or harassing any member of the committee in order to obtain an unfair advantage over other contenders. The chairperson has the right to exclude the nominee film from the category in which it was nominated. Daniel, share the 24-page form. If scroll to page 18, scroll to page 18. Every filmmaker that submits to the NOSC must fill a form, and they must agree to this. I personally have ignored this, even prior to the time the film came to the voting. And this intense lobbying is enough to disqualify the film. I could have used the veto power I had, but I kept quiet for a film to go. For a film to go. So making insinuations that this is personal, throwing stories out there, throwing the committee under the bus and the chairperson under the bus. I could have done this, but I ignored. So I don't think that Mahmoud Ali Balogun, Mildred Oko, Moses, Kenneth Giang, Shuaibu has put the committee space forward by making us, like I was in English, I don't even know what to say. I don't think they have portrayed the committee to look corrupt. You have also made the committee look as if we don't know what we're doing, and that there's a personal vendetta against a particular filmmaker, all with the intention to bring out a particular film. Now, the rules also say that if you have any connection with any filmmaker, you should let us know. Apparently, I just found out that Mahmood has something to do with one of the films. I also found out that Shaibu had something to do with one of the films. Are we going to keep breaking rules? Are we going to keep breaking rules? Why? Train narratives to suit you to get to your goal, even both locally and internationally, is unfair. It's really unfair to the committee. We have 15 members, people of integrity. Just like Moses said, he lost respect for people. I lost respect for many people here. I assumed I was talking to people of integrity, but no, I was not. Mahmood, this is the second time you are doing this. 2020, you did this for Ebony Life Studios. Even after we submitted Milkmaid, you kept fighting and saying Milkmaid was disqualified. You did this. What is the intention? What is the intention? You go and write to the academy. My lawyers in America are getting the correspondence from academy to portray yourself as a vice chairperson, all with the intention of submitting a particular film. Mahmood called me the day right after the voting and said that, chairperson, I think we need to deconvene. I said, okay. I remember telling Mahmoud Ali Balogun, can you call every other member? Mahmoud and I could say, no, you're the chairperson. It is your job. I called the first person, I called Ego Boyu. I sent a message to Shaibu. I called Omotola. I called Stephanie. I was calling. It now looked as if I was the one lobbying for a revote for a film. And I'm the chairperson. I am supposed to coordinate. Then I said, filmmakers, that if you are interested in changing your vote or a revote, please email me. Go and talk to other filmmakers. I only have one vote. This is really unfair. We cannot keep behaving like this. We cannot keep, this is the same Mahmood that has killed different guilds. Do you want to turn NYC to AGN and PDM and all the local guilds in Nigeria, where people have no respect? Is that your plan? Is that your plan? Is that our plan? I'm very upset. This is me saying I am upset because I kept quiet for a reason. Because you guys will go and quote and misquote and lie. I am very upset. Let's be responsible. We are all adults, please. And I'm saying this on this recorded meeting because tomorrow somebody will go and say something else, and I stand by my word. I am not one to speak from 20 sides of my mouth. I'm really, really upset. If you had a problem, you would have called, just like the other person said, and told us, Chineze, this, but all you did was to threaten me. You sent me threats. I just wanted to say this for the record, because I have been keeping quiet. Just for the record, I've been keeping quiet. So those that want to sue me, they will talk to my lawyers. It's only one person that have lawyers. Does anybody have anything to say? So I'll walk around. I just wanted to say my mind, because anybody has anything to say, talk about their mind, they should say. So I'll walk around up.
Do I keep the screen on display?
No, they remove it. Shaibu has something to say. Let us round up.
Well, once again, I thank you. But you just accused me of having an affiliation with the film. You also accused me of bribery or corruption or whatever. It will be interesting. I would like to know, please, which film I had affiliation. And even if you think I had affiliation, how do we determine those who are to recluse themselves from a committee, from the voting? 2 years ago, when we voted for Milkmaid, your secretariat will tell us before we start voting, those who have affiliation with films. Sometimes we know them from credit, sometimes they talk. As I sit down here, me, Shaibu, will say, I don't have any affiliation with any filmmaker. As I sit down here, Shaibu, I have not collected since I entered 2014, this Oscars committee 2014, collected a dime or even gift from anybody concerning films entered. So you have just accused me wrongly, and I am not happy at all, because this is the first time in my career that somebody will, even as a journalist, that somebody will accuse me of being bribed or being lobbied or having an affiliation. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't talk about films again because of the various award bodies that I belong to. So please, it would be nice for you before you go to please mention the film that I have affiliation and then give me proof of the affiliation. Or is it the stories that they were saying that I went to thief? I had one of my benefactors called me and said, I went to thief on what cinema fund tickets. I didn't go there on any filmmakers ticket. I went first to London, to Berlin, and then I went to Toronto. And I stayed in Toronto only for 2 days. And I left Toronto to University of Ottawa and came back. Please, you need to let me know. You need, so that we don't go out tomorrow. You know, you told us that we shouldn't live here and then go and say something behind.
Mahmoud, 2 minutes. Let us round up.
You
2 minutes.
accused me.
Yes, I've accused you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish you are in Nigeria.
I don't have to be in Nigeria. I have business.
Yeah, because they can, if I sue you now, I can't reach you, right? You accuse me of having an affiliation with one film. The only film I've ever had affiliation with was Voiceless, and that was 2 years ago. This year, I have no affiliation with any of the films. 2 of my friends submitted films, Kunle and Mo, right? And I said it that day, that the 2 films were shot specifically with Oscars in mind, even though DJT said something otherwise in what he put in the email. I said they were shot specifically with Oscars in mind. And I have emails or chats of your what do you call your challenges with Mo that you deleted. Are you know what I'm saying? Because you had your bias, and I was telling you that I was the go-between between the 2 of you, so to speak. Right?
Really?
I was telling her that you don't have any problem with her. I was telling you that you don't have, I mean, she doesn't have any problem with you. And you sent me chats and you deleted it when this whole thing started.
I can send it to you again.
What was it all about? I still have the things. But the point I want to make is this, right? Listen.
All right. Since we are saying everything and people are using the words accusations and everything, I think everybody should know where to meet each other at the end of the day. Omotla, you have 1 minute to talk, 1 minute, and then we'll round up. On mute.
Am I unmuted now? Okay. Sorry, I think it's very important to allow him finish his points because I'm actually very interested in listening to that point. Reason is because I also want to ask him the reason why, because I asked you on an email trail and you never responded. I would really love for you to respond, Mr. Libalogun. You started lobbying a lot of people in the committee. You were calling people and asking them to submit a particular film. People asked me if I had been called. In fact, I didn't even know what was going on until I got a Zoom from you. When I got the Zoom from you, that was even when I knew there was even a problem. And then I remember immediately I reached out to the chairperson and I said, there's a meeting, what's going on? And she said, there's no meeting. And I said, no, I just got a Zoom to my phone. You sent it to me by WhatsApp. And then she said, have you not been getting the emails? There's been a lot of email trails back and forth. And I said, no, I did not get any. She said, oh, he actually said he was looking for your email. And then I remember I called you, Stephanie. And I can't remember who else I reached out to. I think I reached out to a third person. I said, because I needed to clarify, I said, please, has there been email trails between people and people? They said, yeah. And I said, can you send those email trails to me? Because I was not copied. And I remember I did not go for that meeting that you held. I think a lot of people did not go. and all of that stuff. And I came on this same email trail that we all did as colleagues, as committee members. And I asked you directly, because I'm not one to talk behind people's back. I said, Mr. Ali Balogun, why did you remove me from all the email trails and everything that was going on? And you never responded. So please, I would really like to understand what's going on.
Unmute me. Right. Thank you, Omotola. If you follow the email trail, I wrote there, the only person I don't have an email is Omotola. And when I copied people was what I sent to the academy. Right? And the chairman has it. I'm happy she said her lawyer, they're going to get to the academy. They will dig out everything. Right? Then on the issue of calling everybody was for this meeting. Let anybody come out and say, I lobbied them for a particular film. We're all here. Of the people I spoke with, that I lobbied them for a particular film, let them say it here. We are all here. Right? Let them come out and say, I spoke with
frankly, I'm not happy that we some people get to talk so long.
Yeah.
Chairman gets to talk as long as she wants.
So what I'm saying is this, we are here. Let anybody come out and say, I lobbied them for a particular film. I called people to that meeting after I'd written to the academy, because the chairman that said I spoke with her, I'm not denying my speaking with her after the voting we had, because that was how we were doing. She had a board, including myself, herself, Charles Novia, and Mildred. We always discuss. And like I've told some people I discussed with, I don't know what got into her this time around. Right? I never lobbied anybody. I didn't lobby on behalf of anybody. We are all here. Let anybody come out. Omotola, I didn't write to you because I didn't have your email. I sent you the link because I had your phone number. I had your email after you responded to the chairman's own illegality as regards my call for a meeting. That was why I saw the red hot or red something, what do you call that email? That was my first time of seeing it, because the chairman had been sending emails to us one by one, unlike what she used to do in the past. She was sending to individuals, not as a group. Why would I not send you an email? Right? Even when you were nominated or you were called to be on the academy, I was the one that called you. Right. I'm not afraid to say anything.
Unfortunately, the case is not what it is. I think I want to share Yibo's sentiment, and I think Bruce. And we were called, and I remember that the chairman was reminding everybody of the rules and regulations. She sent it several times, and as the first we've made, as far as I'm concerned, all of this is a learning process. There's no right to it, and there's no wrong to it. We're all learning. If we decide to speak with one voice, which was my closing remark when we voted, I said we need to decide what we want to do and stick with it and defend it. And everybody said yes. And we called it a day. I never knew that there was supposed to be another meeting. Talking as the first time, I never knew, because as far as I'm concerned, I voted. And that was it.
I think everyone has spoken. It's time for us to wrap this up. So let the record state that we have Mildred, Mahmoud, Kenneth, Moses, and Ego Boyo voted that they do not want to uphold the rules and regulations of NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, meaning that they want to revote, and that makes 5 people, while Stephanie, Izojuku, Bruce, John Njama, let me take it back. Let the record state that Mildred Oko, Mahmoud Ali Balogun, Kenneth Gyang, Moses Babatope, Ego Boyo, and Shaibu Hosseini voted that they do not want to uphold the rules and regulations of the NOSC protecting the vote of September 3rd, 2022, meaning that they want to change the rules and call for a revote, while Stephanie, Linus, Izuojuku, Bruce Ayonote, John Njama, Adetokumba Odubayo, which is DJT, Omotola Jalade Ekainde, Yibo Koko, Meg Otawa, and Chineze Anyaene voted that they want to uphold the rules and regulations of the NOSC, thereby protecting the vote of September 3rd. The majority has it. So I think this meeting is over. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Sorry. Somebody's making a correction. Please, can you hear me? Just for the record, Mr. Shuaibu is saying something for the record. I think it's important that we take notes.
So for the record, Mr. Shuaibu wrote in the text that says, I never asked for a revote, even if we took that decision today, I wouldn't have revoted. All right, thank you. The meeting has ended. If we continue to talk, we will not leave here today. I think everybody has personal problems should squash it individually or use who they have to use to squash their problems. Have a good night. Thank you, guys.